Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving back into the audio realm with these, an older but still interesting pair of headphones, the Sony H900N, also known as the Hear On2 Wireless NC. Now these headphones came out back in 2018, but they're still floating around on the used market. So I went ahead, picked up a pair for myself, and want to see how they hold up here in 2026. So let's get into it. Before we take a look at the headset itself, why don't we get it unboxed and see what it comes with if you get this thing brand new. Thank you to UJ Scope for creating this video. We're going to use this as I actually didn't buy my headset new and see what it comes in the box. Now this headset was actually released back in April of 2017, which we will go more into later on. Now this headset actually came out in 5 different colors: Twilight Red, Pale Gold, Horizon Green, Moonlit Blue, and Grayish Black. Now I ended up buying the Grayish Black set, and they're more gray than black. But let's get back into this unboxing and see what we get. Now after we remove the headphones, we get a 3.5mm cable, a carrying pouch, the different manuals of how to set it up, and we should also be getting a micro USB to USB-A charger. Now there is no wall charger or wall brick. We just get those 3 pieces. Now let's grab the headset itself and check it out. Now I mentioned earlier that the headset was released in 2018. The headset released in 2018 was the WH-1000XM3, which is actually the predecessor of now the 1000XM4. All of these offer better noise cancelling, sound quality, and additional features, but we're here to talk about the WH-H900N and see how it stacks up here in 2026. With a retail price of $300 USD and a release date in 2017, this headset actually has quite the spec sheet. Now we're going to go in no particular order, though we are going to start with the size and weight. It's about 103.2 ounces and has dimensions of 6 inches by 8 inches and when folded 6 inches by 5.5 inches. Now we're going to talk about general features. We have volume controls through touch sensor, passive operation, closed and dynamic. For headphone type, DSEE-HX. Our inputs are micro USB, stereo mini jack. Our cord length that we get is approximately 3.94 feet, which is our 3.5mm cable. The driver type is a 1.57 inch dome type CCAW voice coil. Cord type is single-sided, so it is detachable. We have a 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz range for Bluetooth, 44.1 kHz sampling, 20 Hz to 40,000 Hz. LDAC 96 kHz sampling, 99,000 kilobytes a second. The diaphragm is titanium coated diaphragm. The magnet is a neodymium magnet. It doesn't have S-Master HX, does have NFC, has circumferential wearing style, and a couple things like 32 ohm 1 kilohertz when connected via the headphone cable with the unit turned on, and 16 ohms 1 kilohertz when connected via the headphone cable with the unit turned off. For the impedance rating, frequency response, active operation 5 to 40,000 kilohertz, and sensitivities of 103 decibels when connected via the headphone cable with the unit turned off, and 98 decibels 1 kilohertz when connecting via headphone cable and the unit turned off. Now there are a lot of specifications to this, so most of these will be on screen. Like the Bluetooth specification, the noise cancelling does have quick attention, ambient sound, no personal NC optimizer, noise cancellation on and off, automatic AI noise cancelling, and atmosphere pressure optimizing, except it doesn't have that. Bluetooth specs, it's on the 2.4 GHz band, version 4.1. Supports a wide range of audio formats. Supported contact protection SCMS-T. Now the effective range for Bluetooth, which I even had to do in testing, if the line of sight is there, it's around 30 feet or 10 meters. And you can kind of get that, but the line of sight is the biggest thing with Bluetooth. And then we also have the Bluetooth profile. Battery life is interesting, which we will double check in our testing. But supposedly with continuous music playback, your max is about 28 hours with noise cancellation on and 34 hours with noise cancellation off. Now the battery life waiting time, love it when they do these idle tests, is supposed to be 48 hours with noise cancellation on and around 200 hours with noise cancellation off. Now with this type of testing, we will bring it up later on, but it's kind of difficult to test if this thing has an auto off function, which I didn't really see if it did. And that's pretty much it for device specifications. Now let's get this set up and paired to our phone so we can get into device testing. All right, talking about the headset itself. Here on the right side, we have our touch controls. The bottom, we have nothing. Here is one of the microphone spots for our ambient sound. We got this cushion on both sides and the top here. Everything's pretty much plastic. On the left side, here we have our other microphone spot, NFC connection support. For quick connect, we have our ambient sound and noise cancellation button, power button, our micro USB port, and our input jack. Now turning the headset on, we find 3 ways to pair with your device. Standard Bluetooth, putting into pairing mode and going to your settings, through the SoundConnect app, and through Quick Connect. Now with Quick Connect for NFC, I believe it only works with Android devices. I mean, I can try with the iPhone here, see if it connects, but it seems like only Android has the ability to pair through NFC, or at least just this iPhone I have. So let's put this thing in pairing mode. Let's open up the SoundConnect app and pair it through. So let's agree, hit start, read the privacy policy. We're gonna disagree, start using, send notifications, access Bluetooth, allow notifications. Let's see if it recognizes this. Press the power button on the headphones or speakers. For headphones or charging case, simply remove them. All right. See if it comes up. All right. If it doesn't find the headset, like it's not finding it now, just hit search from Bluetooth settings, which will just direct you of how to add it through Bluetooth. We're just gonna hop over to our settings and add it that way. All right, it should pop up shortly. We might need to cycle Bluetooth if it doesn't show up. Click on our headset. All right, we are connected. Device type. And set it to anything but rename. And then we should be good to go. So let's jump over to SoundConnect. We can see it's here and it's registered. Hit OK. By signing in, you get all of the extra functions that you get with SoundConnect, the application. You don't actually need to do this, so we'll hit later. Continue without restoring. All right, so here inside the app, we can actually view our ambient sound control. Clicking these 3 will either turn it on from noise cancellation to ambient sound to off. Same thing can be done with your headset itself. Currently we're at 100% battery. If you hit the power button, it'll actually tell you the general battery level of low, medium, or high, but the app will also say that as well. I've noticed that if you leave the headset on, it won't actually go to a certain percentage. It will go from, let's say 100 to maybe 70 to 50. It's not going to tell you a more advanced level, but that's just my test. Now, if we click on ambient sound control, it takes us to the device settings. Here we have ambient sound control, surround, equalizer, find your equalizer, 360 reality audio setup, sound quality mode, and DSE-HX. So we'll start from the top with ambient sound control. Turn this off. We'll just keep it pretty standard. Have off, noise cancellation, and it's going to change to ambient sound. Modifying it can change it from noise cancelling, wind noise reduction, and ambient sound. So if you have wind noise reduction enabled, it's not going to switch to a standard ambient sound. It's just going to cut down on the wind. Then we have our surround sound settings. Now for equalizer, we have a couple settings. We have off, bright, excited, mellow, relaxed, vocal, treble boost, bass boost, speech, manual, and 2 customs. Finding our equalizer will require us to kind of play some music and figure out which one is best for us. 360 audio setups, you can create a profile for your hearing. And currently there are no optimized 360 reality apps on our phone. And then lastly, we have sound quality mode. I currently have this as prioritize stable connection. You can also have it prioritize sound quality. I am unsure if this actually changes battery life, as I tested with both and I didn't really see any differences, but your mileage may vary. And the last thing, we have DSEEHX. You can turn it on or off. Moving down, we have another quick access for our equalizer, which pretty much just holds the same stuff. If we click on it, it's going to take us back into the device settings for equalizer. And then here we can see our currently playing, modify the volume. And then finally we have device settings, which is pretty much everything we just went into. The cool thing is inside the app, you can also edit the kind of more frequent use controls, which is only ambient sound control, equalizer, and Bluetooth connection quality. That's pretty much it. Other things within the app, we have our Discover page, which is kind of like any other Discover page, usage tips, activity, listening history, kind of stuff like that. And then inside our menu, we can find more information about the app, backup and restore data and settings about the app. Backup and restore settings and data does require us to kind of log in. Here we can find everything for the app settings. And then here, if you hit the three dots, we can find our headset version. We can also click on our account if we're signed in. Now, I believe this headset does have a newer OS version, and I believe the only way you can get it is if you actually log in, but we're not going to cover that in this video. But that's pretty much it for the device itself and the headset setup. Why don't we put these on, start listening to some music, and get into testing. So I'm just going to throw on a song. We can listen to this. I have the equalizer set to relaxed and ambient sound for noise cancellation on, but take a listen, see how it goes, and then we'll give our result in the end. Now, the current setup I have doesn't really give too far indication of how good or bad this headset is, but here's my honest opinion. The headset is actually very good for what I picked it up for. It's got good clarity, good customization, and overall good sound quality. Now, in regard to our headset testing, I don't have the setup that other audio YouTubers have, where it kind of mimics a human head, and you can kind of hear the difference between different headsets and different modes. So when it comes to noise cancellation, ambient sound testing, anything like that, it's going to be more of my opinion rather than in a spot for you to listen to. Now, unlike our earbuds, I can try to put the headset on my microphone I use, but it's not going to be the clean, same sound that you would get if you were doing this on that audio microphone head that other people use. Now, when it comes to battery life and charge test, that's just as simple as me just doing a time lapse and figuring out how long it actually takes and comparing it to Sony's website. So let's get these running and see how they are. Starting with our battery tests. Here I have the quoted and the overall testing. Now, real quick, testing was done using my headset. Values are an average amongst the test. Your mileage may vary depending on the battery health of your headset. So quoted versus my testing, they're almost identical. The only thing I wasn't able to test is standby mode, and the whole ambient sound testing. This varies depending on what settings you have enabled or disabled. Moving on to charge test, these are pretty much identical. The headset seems to have a quick charge feature, which says 10 minutes at 65 minutes of playback. Based on testing, for at least from mine, this was true. So we just leave it at that. And then finally, for extra test and features, if you cover the one side of the headset with your whole palm, it will actually quick disable noise cancellation and quick enable ambient sound mode, or just enhance it based on what you have. That's a cool feature that they actually stated on the website, but something I just wanted to bring up. And this pretty much concludes our testing scenarios. All right, so scouring through eBay, we can see that the headset currently lists for sale is around $115 for excellent refurbished. New others $120. This one seems to be $55 plus shipping. $50, $150, 50 bucks, 80, 100, 95 plus shipping, 75. Some of them are listed as used / pre-owned for 40 bucks plus shipping, 75, 90. So you can get this headset for, let's say, 50 to 150 bucks, depending on which seller you go with. But I feel at that point, you can actually get a newer, better headset, which all in all, it's not too bad. Now we can see that we can find this headset pretty much anywhere here on eBay. You can probably check your local marketplaces to see if you can find it there. You might notice mine had this two-tone color setup. That's because I had to replace the ear pads. The originals were worn out, so I grabbed a different color. Honestly, it gives the headset a bit of a personality, and it's cool to see replacement parts are still easy to find. Now, if I took a moment and looked further, I probably could find an actual color match set. Now that we've seen everything about the headset and its current price on Marketplace, why don't we just check out the good and the bad before we see if it's worth it to still get it here in 2026. So the good, it's relatively priced on eBay if you find them used. Replacement parts are still available online, and the overall sound quality is good. I like the NFC ability to quick pair, and the touch controls are a nice touch. The bad, it lacks USB-C, and that is only an opinion here, because I like to just carry around 1 or 2 cables, not a micro USB, a Type-C, and anything else needed. But that is a personal preference. But unfortunately, that's the bad. The overall noise cancellation, I have had better headsets that have better noise cancellation. But the thing is, because they're newer, and the lack of the ability to use the headset after the battery has run out. Similar to Beats, you can't actually use the headset with the 3.5mm jack if the headset is dead. But that's pretty much the good and the bad. We'll have a couple more here on screen. So this brings us to the overall question of should you still get this headset in 2026? Honestly, I'm going to leave it up to you. My opinion is if I were to be buying a headset primarily for noise cancellation, the audio playback, kind of the key features you want, the headset used for traveling, if you're taking the plane or a train or something, then I would not get this headset. There's newer headsets in a similar price category with better overall features. But if you ultimately like the design and you like what it has to offer, then maybe get the headset. But at the end of the day, the choice is up to you. If you want a better headset for a certain price, go for it. There's plenty of options out there. Doesn't even have to be a Sony headset. But at the end of the day, it's what you want, what you're looking for, and what the headset should do for you. That's it for today's review. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked our dive into the Sony H900, drop a comment, let me know down below what headset you're currently using. Like if you like this or dislike it, and I'll see you all in the next video.